the beautiful, sleepy county of Dorset in the south of England. Not anymore, as Postcard and a Pint are on their way. So are you going to go mad? Yep. And how many are there of you? Great. So 2 go mad in Dorset. Stay tuned for stunning scenery, dramatic coasts and amazing weather. Yeah, we know that's not Dorset, but we went there on the way. If you don't know us, I'm Rachel, he's Wills, and we are Postcard and a Pint. So let's pack up a picnic and get this adventure started. Ginger beer? Check. Are you fully packed, Wills? Excellent. Bye-bye house, let's get into the car and let the road trip begin. The sun's in the sky, the 80s are blasting. The sun's not in the sky, and the 90s are blasting. The sun's back. How's it going? And we're now at a standstill. Take a look out of the front window. Wills?
And I need a wee.
We were soon back on our way, and before too long we found us services. Is that better, lad? Fully relieved it was back on the road, and we decided to call by somewhere we'd wanted to visit for ages, Stonehenge. Wristbands acquired, it was time to go in. Just inside the site, they have a collection of Neolithic houses. You can step through the doors and get a real sense of what life might have been like when Stonehenge was built. We thoroughly enjoyed them. Now give us your bargain of the day, please, Rach.
First win of the day. It cost £33 per person to get in here. We thought, as CADU members, we'd get 50% off. But because we've been CADU members for a year now, we got in for free, so we've just saved ourselves 66 quid. Can't thank that CADU card enough. Let's go see Stonehenge.
It's either a 30-minute walk or a 5-minute bus ride from the visitor centre. Today we chose the bus as we were pressed for time. After a short walk, we found this. It's absolutely breathtaking, a monument that could potentially date to 2600 BC. Yes, it rained, but the clouds and wind only made the sight more mysterious. No one knows what Stonehenge was. The most popular belief is that it was a burial ground. Whatever it was, it's one of the most magical places we visited. Soon it was time to head back, visit the obligatory gift shop, and see if Wills could move a sarsen stone. He couldn't. We'd better let this chap show you how it's done. Good lad. Rach?
That was so cool. I'm really, really glad we did that. And it was free, as you heard. I think if we came again, we'd like to walk, but we are a bit pressed for time today because we'd like to get to our Airbnb before 6 o'clock. We are now back for a well-earned picnic, and today is going really well. Hail and rain included.
Yes, it's tiger bread from Tesco and a cheese and ham sandwich. How was your visit, Wills?
I really enjoyed that. I've wanted to come here for years and years. Now, if we'd have paid £66 between us, I'm not sure if I'd have been quite as impressed, but it was very cool to see. I'm really glad we've come.
Stonehenge, tick. Now let's get ourselves off to Dorset. With the sun back in the sky, AC/DC on Spotify, we made our way to our accommodation. A beautiful little shepherd's hut in the woods. The location was absolutely idyllic. OK, there were a few midges out as it was sunset. This was to be our home for the next 3 nights. Let's take a look inside. It was absolutely pristine and so well thought out. The bed looked as squishy as a cloud. Yes, this'll do for us. Thoughts, Rach? We've just checked into our little shepherd's hut. It is absolutely beautiful. The detail is amazing. The bed looks so cosy. I can't wait to get into it, but we have to go out. And out of the window, you can see Corfe Castle, which is the castle that Enid Blyton based Kirrin Castle on. So here I am in my little Enid Blyton fantasy with Kirrin Castle out the window. Perfect. Wills?
Well, that was a long drive, but as Rachel said, this is beautiful. I mean, Kirrin Castle out there, how cool is that? It's a beautiful little, I don't even know what it is, it's not a caravan, what is it? It's a hut, I guess. And it's about 6 o'clock now, so we're going to need to go out and find something to eat. And stay with us and see what adventures we get up to.
This place is located just outside Corfe Castle. It's about a 5-minute walk into the village. And what a beautiful and quaint village it is. So many of the buildings are made from Purbeck stone, and it has that chocolate box feel to it. We were definitely channeling our inner Famous Five and Box of Delights. But food must be found. This looks nice. Go on, try your luck on Good Friday, a public holiday in a tourist town when you haven't booked. How did you do?
That's a shame, that one was full, but it is Easter weekend. We're going to walk back towards the castle and try a few more.
The other pub with good food reviews on TripAdvisor had been the Greyhound Inn that we'd already walked past, and this time we were in luck. I think we found our local pub. Cheers! We have to say the food was excellent. Wills went with the pie. It was gorgeous. And I went with an old favourite, pizza. Plates cleared. How was that, Rach? Cheers, Greyhound Inn, and Corfe Castle's there somewhere, and
Here's to the end of a long first day, but what a lovely day.
It's been fab, hasn't it?
We're now sat outside. We've got a little raised area opposite our shepherd's hut with just a table, some candles.
Glass of wine.
Yeah, sharing some wine and reflecting on a really lovely day. Now, tomorrow, we are going to start a brand new vlog. We're going to do the Enid Blyton Trail, and that's going to be next week's vlog. But we will show you snippets in this vlog of where we go and what we get
Absolutely.
up to. Yeah, because, so far I'm having a great time. We've got a local pub already in Corfe Castle called the Greyhound, which was absolutely delicious for food.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, and all in all, that was really great. So it's not a roundup, it's just saying good night, cheers to a lot of you, and we'll see you in the morning.
cheers! But before we turn in, a little Gen X fix to finish the night. Morning!
Well, that was a beautiful night's sleep in that lovely, fluffy, snuggly bed. Will's got up at 5 a.m. and went out to record the dawn chorus, which was so loud. We've had breakfast outside in the sun. Gorgeous. We're just leaving for our day, and a whole herd or flock or whatever you call them of deer family have just wandered past our shepherd's hut. They were so beautiful, and now we're going to climb up a hill opposite Corfe Castle and fly the drone. Come with us.
Yes, it's shorts on in March. Happy days. Debs the drone went for a morning meander over the castle. She also had a little nosy over the village. How beautiful it is. It still amazes me that Wills hasn't crashed it yet. Good lad. Once we'd collected enough shots, it was back down the hill to continue our day.
Drone flown, and we got some lovely footage. Now we're off to go and see Corfe Castle, the first stop on our Enid Blyton trail. The jumper is off, it's hot. Come with us.
Corfe Castle opens from 10 a.m. daily, and we were there on the nosy ready to explore. This is such a stunning castle. It sits proudly high above the village and can be seen from every approach to it. Some history, please, Rach.
A few years after the Battle of Hastings, William the Conqueror swapped a church in Gillingham for this land, and he began to build Corfe Castle.
What a long and fascinating history it's had. These days, people shove dogs through rabbit mouths for Instagram, and Wills is the first kid up the hill to play the beanbag game. Rubbish. And the next one's going to be equally as rubbish. Shocking. Appalling. Just give up. There are 5-year-olds with better aim. See? There's 3 beanbags left, Wills. Yep, when in doubt, post it. A little later, we saw a 7-year-old nailing this game. Ah well, some more history.
In 1982, after 3.5 centuries of ownership by the Banks family, it was finally given to the National Trust. And now we can all enjoy Corfe Castle.
We certainly can, and what a beautiful day to be enjoying it. We're thoroughly enjoying our day at the castle, but I have history here. Let me divulge.
Now, I've been to Corfe Castle before. We used to holiday down here in Bournemouth and Weymouth when I was a kid. And we came to Corfe Castle one day. I must have been 8 or 9, and I had my first camera, and I was so proud of it. I took some great pictures. I think so anyway. And then we got back down, and I realised I'd left it at the top, and my dad refused to walk back or walk with me to go and try and find it. I was so sad.
So just on the off chance the National Trust don't clean up too well, and it's been hanging around up here for the last 30-ish years, I had a look for it. But
I've been looking around. I can't find it. Sad times.
it was in a brown leather case if anyone comes across it. But now it's Easter Sunday, and this castle is starting to fill up with families on a day out. It's time to move on.
That's Corfe Castle all done. We're now going to nip back to the little shepherd's hut, have a wee, get the car, and we're off to the golf club at the Isle of Purbeck.
The roads were really quiet, and then we stumbled across this.
We've just stopped at the People's Viewpoint, and what a view!
It certainly was. The next part of our morning was all about Enid Blyton and the trail we were following. If you want to see all of these places in more detail and what they meant to her and her stories, then watch our Enid Blyton Trail vlog coming soon. We visited the Isle of Purbeck Golf Club, Studland and Knoll House Hotel. Enid and her husband Kenneth would regularly stay at the Knoll House Hotel, and it was like stepping back in time.
That was so cool seeing where Enid would holiday for 2 weeks at a time in spring and autumn. Stunning views, and there's kind of a homage to it inside with little presentation photographs, letters from her, all about her life. Fascinating stuff, but now I'm starving, it's got to be lunchtime.
So we made our way to Swanage. It was great to see a British seaside town thriving. We parked at the pier and then had our picnic looking out over the sea. Champion. It was a beautiful day and Wills even managed to get some field recording done. The fishermen were fishing and Will said,
For the lovely picnic on Swanage Pier, we're just going to take a little wander into town. Let's go.
It was really busy with people enjoying a surprisingly warm Easter Saturday. They even have a Wimpy. Not seen one of those in years. From Swanage train station, they run steam and diesel trains along the Swanage Railway. The beach at Swanage is sandy, and it was good to see people enjoying it, albeit in coats. There used to be 2 piers here, and here's an Enid Blyton fact. Enid and her husband Kenneth used to swim around both before supper. It's time to move on though, and to go in search of our next destination. And this one's completely different.
We've come off the Enid Blyton Trail now and we're off to see something Will's wanted to see for a long time.
Dinosaurs!
I know he's excited, but this really is a hidden gem. Hidden away in Purbeck are the Spyway Dinosaur Footprints. It was a muddy path, but with the odd little jump, no problem. In 1997, the family who have quarried here for 300 years uncovered some mystical shapes in the rock. They have been identified as dinosaur footprints. Footprints of Brachiosaurus sauropods.
Despite looking like potholes, these are genuine dinosaur footprints. How cool's that?
These dinosaurs walked here 145 million years ago. That was an amazing experience.
I'm absolutely just blown away by this. I mean, dinosaurs, millions of years old. Amazing.
It was, just as this new baby calf was. But sadly, my once white trainers were now not so amazing. And how Will's got brown stains there, the mind boggles. On we go. Back through Corfe Castle and through the rolling Dorset hills to our last stop of the day.
Kimmeridge Bay is one of the best places for rock pooling in all of Dorset.
Yes, we'd come to one last beach, and the light was fantastic. I went rock pooling and...
They just found a dinosaur!
Yes, it's also a really great beach for fossils. Wills went for a rummage and before too long, he had one too. You mustn't take fossils from here, so we put them back and flew the drone instead. We'd really enjoyed our first full day on the Jurassic coast. We even did one of these shots. Hiya! One day in and we're in love with Dorset already. What a cracking first day.
Well, that's the end of a fantastic day, but now we're going back to the Shepherd's Hut for some pasta, garlic bread and beer. Come on.
Hello yet again, Corfe Castle. Cheers.
Well, that's the end to a lovely day, and we've loved tracing the steps of Enid Blyton. The countryside round here is absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to pick out one highlight for me. I think it's got to be the castle. It's just an amazing castle. Wherever you come at it from, it's just sticking up, loud and proud, and I love it. And I'll see you tomorrow when it's my birthday.
As you say, it's been a fab day. I've loved every minute of it. Now, I was trying to think of which bit I liked the best. I don't know. What I love about doing this Postcard and the Pint thing is that we go to places we wouldn't normally go to. If we weren't doing Postcard and the Pint, we wouldn't have come here this weekend. We'd have stayed at home, watched a bit of telly, maybe gone out for the day somewhere locally, but it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. And as Rachel says, it's a birthday tomorrow, so let's wait and see what we're going to get up to tomorrow. Cheers!
And tonight's YouTube fix is a bit of Wandering with Watto. Classic. Morning! And it's my birthday and I've had a lovely birthday breakfast of croissants and jam and coffee. I've had loads of presents. I've been super spoiled. And the deer came to visit me while I was having my cup of coffee looking out the window. So nice. Well, anyway, this morning we're off to Brownsea Island. Bit more of the Enid Blyton, but we'll take you along for this one as well. And we're off to Poole in the car now. Come with us. Okay, so I didn't get sunshine for my birthday. In fact, it was looking depressingly grey. We'd read online that we had to find a yellow hut to get our tickets. There's some yellow boats and some lovely pubs. Ah, there's a yellow hut and a yellow boat. All aboard and let's be off to Brownsea Island. As usual with a boat trip, we decided to sit outside and it was absolutely freezing. But we weren't giving in and stuck it outside for the full 20-minute journey. Update please, Rach. We've arrived. That boat ride was bracing, to say the least. Let's go and explore Brownsea Island. We paid £13.50 each. This includes the ferry and admission to the island, and a free yoga class it seems. Brownsea Island is the birthplace of scouting, and here's a statue of Lord Baden-Powell, although it does look more like Mr Miyagi. On to nature. We took the boardwalk towards the bird hides. And what can we tell you about those? The sounds of the birdsong here was so loud. There was an expert in each hide helping you spot the different species. And Will's got to make some more great field recordings. This is such a beautiful island. It's essentially now just a nature reserve. The bird song is just insane here. It's been so nice for Wills to do some recordings and get some new nature recordings. There's loads of history to this island, but it was the birthplace of scouting. Yes, Lord Baden-Powell, also known as Mr Miyagi, held the first camping event for boys here in 1907. Out of that, the scouting movement was born. There is still a campsite here today, and it can be visited or booked through the National Trust. We enjoyed seeing the signs of all the scout groups who have visited over time. More history, Wills.
Here's one for you. Did you know during the Second World War, flares were put on the west side of this island just to confuse the Luftwaffes, and it did the job because it spared Poole and Bournemouth thousands of tons of bombs.
Go Brownsea Island. And a story from you, Rach? Now, it turns out I have been to Brownsea Island before, apparently when I was very young. When we were in Welshpool the other week, I told Will the story that I'd once been chased by a peacock, but I'd forgotten the story till my sister reminded me this morning. On Brownsea Island, I asked my parents, young Rachel, if I could have a peacock feather. There was loads of peacocks roaming around, loads of feathers on the floor. So my mum and dad said, yeah, thinking I was going to go and get one off the floor. But I didn't. I tried to get it off the peacock. And hence a very angry peacock turned round and then chased me, and I was crying and I was terrified of peacocks for years. Maybe if I'd attended scout camp, I'd have known better. But what's this? Paper mache bird's heads you can wear? Go on then, one day we'll grow up. I do hope not. Brownsea Island is a haven for red squirrels, but we only saw this rooster. Bad times. Show us your route then. What a morning it had been, but it was now time to get back on the yellow boat and head back to Poole. So are you going to sit outside this time?
We're back on the boat.
But this time, we're inside. There's a surprise. After all that walking, surely it's time for lunch.
We're back at Poole Quay. We're starving. We've got to go get some fish and chips.
And this looks just the ticket. Happy birthday to me. Careful your chips not too hot. Good girl. And how's the fish, Wills? Splendid. We're on the road again, and this time we're off to explore one of the finest sights on the Jurassic coast, Durdle Door. Hang on, that looks steep. It was a lovely walk after the first steep bit, past Man o' War Bay, all right, Wills, and then you find that you're only halfway there. Yep, there's still that bit to go down to this natural wonder. Are you ready for it, kids? Now this looks bad, but it was only like this as there had been a landslip and the bottom of the path was no more. So it was more of a scramble, but we made it. Wow, how cool is that? It's absolutely amazing.
It's fab, innit?
The colour of the water is insane, and the Man of War Bay as well, next door. It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of stairs to get here.
Very steep indeed.
But well worth it. People were loving the beach, dogs were loving the beach, and what's not to love? This natural limestone arch was formed when the power of the waves eroded the rock and made a hole through the middle about 10,000 years ago. I quite fancied a birthday paddle. Spoiler alert, it was freezing, but oh so refreshing. We then scrambled back up the landslip path. How was the climb? We then moved the car to Lulworth Cove for even more Jurassic Coast beauty. We did a short circular walk past Stair Hole, named because of the blowholes in the rocks. Then it was much less of a scramble down to Lulworth Cove. This cove was formed by the force of the sea and a river swollen by melting ice at the end of the last ice age. The colour of the water is a milky blue, and it's a great place for swimming in the summer as it's so naturally protected. Even today it was busy with people enjoying the great outdoors. The houses at Lulworth Cove are so picturesque. Surely you two have finished for the day, eh?
One more stop before we go back for birthday tea, and I know we've had fish and chips, but we've walked a lot. Come on.
It had been a wonderful birthday, and I'd refrained from pulling feathers from a peacock's tail. We had one more nature reserve to see, and this one will feature more in our Enid Blyton trail vlog.
Here we are at the Blue Pool. This is another beautiful nature reserve. Again, nature sounds and the colour of the water, absolutely stunning.
It's such a tranquil reserve. They even had fairy doors in the trees. We popped Debs up into the sky for some aerial views. It was such a peaceful end to our day's travels. OK, we couldn't help ourselves. We stopped once more on Stoborough Heath to find our inner famous five. Surrounded by gorse and miles of empty countryside. Right, are you taking me out for my birthday?
It's been a fantastic day. It's been a very long day. Our feet are killing us. But it's the evening now. We're about to go out for Rachel's birthday lunch. Birthday dinner, should I say, even though we had chips. And I'd just like to say a quick thanks to my dad and my sister, who bought us, for Easter, because it's Easter Sunday today as I film this, he bought us a bottle of Vermentino Sardinian white wine, which is one of our favourites. So, cheers, Dad and Becky.
Cheers, both. Now let's get to our local for birthday tea. Thank you.
Now, some friends of ours, the Cooks Explore, said while we were here, we needed to try a Dorset knob.
Oh, what?
A Dorset knob. Now, apparently it's some sort of stale biscuity thing. Now, we haven't found one of them, but we have found a Dorset knob beer. So, cheers.
You know where you can shove your Dorset knob, lad? Not here. I'm going for a roast dinner and a large one at that. Uh-oh, it was too large. Should have gone for the knob instead. Morning. Bye, cute shepherd's hut. Bye, mystical deer that keep dropping around. We're going to walk into Corfe Castle to find us a steam train before we go. This station is so quaint, and there's the 10:17 bang on time. We're not riding trains today, we've just come for a look. This was the biggest steam engine we've seen. The line is run by the Swanage Railway Trust and is constantly fundraising and recruiting volunteers to keep it running. We enjoyed watching these fellas offloading some coal. Hang on, I thought steam trains took on coal to make them work, not threw it away. Soon enough, the whistle was blown and it was all aboard and time to leave Corfe Castle. Beautiful. Now, did you enjoy your steam train, Wills?
We've just been to see the steam train on Corfe Castle station. It was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Interestingly, you'd just seen the footage of the guy chucking the coal in the bucket into the bin. We said to him at the end, so what's that for? He said, saw that fireplace in the waiting room? It's for that. Brilliant. We're now off to Old Harry Rocks. Come with us.
You'd never believe this is us on our way home.
This is Old Harry Rocks. To get here, we parked in the South Beach car park at Studland Beach, and then it's a mile walk, a lovely walk, great views, not a difficult walk. It's an amazing sight, is Old Harry Rocks. It's like a baby Durdle Door.
We debated whether or not to do this one today, but we're so glad we did. Ina Blyton would sit at the Knoll House Hotel and look across at these rocks, imagining smugglers, kidnappers and dastardly deeds all solved by 4 children and a dog, out to foil any evil plot. These rocks may not be as grand as Durdle Door, but I think we liked them better. We thoroughly enjoyed our time on the Jurassic coast and found it hard to tear ourselves away. We'll forever remember our 3 days in Dorset, and I'm sure we'll visit again. But what's that? You've stopped again?
We've just stopped off in Shaftsbury. We've come to see Gold Hill, have a little look around the town before we make our way home.
We're technically still in Dorset, so it's all okay. Shaftsbury is a great stop for ice cream. Isn't that right, Wills?
Hot cross bun, honeycomb, perfect.
Okay, so maybe not the flavours the famous 5 would have had, but it was our first and last of the trip. Shaftsbury is probably most famous for this street. Isn't that right, Wills?
This is Gold Hill, where they filmed the very famous old Hovis advert.
It's chocolate box perfect and is said to be one of the most romantic sights in England. What an end to a stunning road trip. We'd seen so much in 3 days. We do often get asked if we ever stop and relax. Our answer to this is our relaxation. To explore, to see, to learn, and more importantly, to share it with you. So let's cut back to Wills. Hand us over to home, lad.
Okay, that's Dorset done. We'll see you back home for a sum up and a pint.
Wasn't that an absolutely lovely few days away?
It was indeed.
A well-needed break, and absolutely love Dorset.
It's a fantastic place, isn't it?
Just a lovely, lovely county. Did you have any highlights?
Oh, all of it. I mean, the town or the village of Corfe Castle, the actual Corfe Castle, the shepherd's hut, the deers at the bottom of the garden. It was just perfect. It's the most beautiful place. But another thing for me was we've both been brought up on Enid Blyton books over the years as we were kids. And I know we're doing an Enid Blyton trail vlog soon. And just to see the places that inspired the books, the characters, the places in the books was just, it was just brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But I think my top thing was probably the dinosaur footprints. Because it just blew me away. There were nothing much to look at. There were little potholes.
They were, you know.
They
when
were,
you
actually.
got down at like their level and looked at them all in a row.
All I mean by that is what they actually are, the history behind them is just mind-blowing. I used to be well into dinosaurs when I was younger.
And you can just walk on the site
You
as
can,
well.
yeah.
If you can get through the mud, you can walk on the site.
Rachel nearly didn't go because there were cows in the field.
Yeah,
She was like, I'm not going if there's cows in the
No,
field.
they were far, far away.
I think
one of my highlights as well is Corfe Castle itself, the castle. Wherever you come from in Dorset, heading towards there, you go around the corner and
bang,
there it
isn't it?
is. There's no sort of sneaking up on you. It's just, whoa.
That's true.
It's absolutely there. Loved it.
It's fantastic.
Right, we've got some shout-outs to do.
We've got a few shout-outs today.
A few shout-outs
So-
to do. Do you want to go first?
Here we go. First off, we'd like to say a massive, massive thank you to Wayne Borrows, who's become one of our Patreon members. Cheeky half, or is it Cheeky Pint?
Cheeky Pint.
Cheeky Pint.
Cheeky Pint.
Sorry, Wayne.
Cheers.
Cheeky Pint. So, cheers, mate. Really appreciate it.
And I would like to say thank you to Peter Miller.
Pete Miller.
Pete Miller. He's also had a cheeky pint with us.
Cheers,
so
mate.
cheers and
Really,
welcome to
really
Patreon.
appreciate these.
Patreon has become more like now a little family. It's like a group chat. And
Yeah, we'll stick the address in. If you didn't know, we've got a Patreon, obviously, what we're talking about. And it's become like a little, almost a little family, a little club.
Yeah.
And we post pictures, we have chats in there. And there's 3 tiers. I mean, it's dead cheap. It's the price of a beer a month. So if you fancy buying us a beer a month, join the Patreon and have a laugh with us. It's really, really good fun.
Okay.
We like it.
Right, you can do the next one.
Okay, the next one, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Natasha and Debbie from the Natasha and Debbie Show, who are, they're an American couple who do reaction videos. And they emailed us a couple of weeks ago.
While we were on the ship.
Saying, we'd like to do a reaction video to your North Wales video, which we did, ages ago. And not only that, it was one of those videos we nearly didn't make. We threw it together, clips. We weren't on it.
Yeah.
That's probably why they wanted to do it. And they did it this morning as we filmed this.
Yeah.
And it was great. We've had a surge in subscribers. We've had some lovely comments.
Lovely comments.
So we'd like to say a massive thank you to Natasha and Debbie.
And if you're here from Natasha and Debbie, cheers!
Thank you.
Welcome
and
to
cheers.
Postcard and a Pint.
Absolutely.
I've got a last shout out.
Go on, tell them your story.
I was in Tesco car park.
She phoned me up to tell me this.
The
I
other
was in
day,
work.
and I was with my trolley going towards my car, and this fella was coming towards me, and he looked at me like he knew me, and I was one of those moments where you're thinking, oh God, do I know you? Do I know you? Have I met you before? And he went, you know what I'm going to say? And I was like, oh God, I've got a horrible idea. I think you know what you are going to say. He went, Postcard and a Pint. I was like, yay! Anyway, turns out he's Steve from Buckley.
Hi, Steve from Buckley.
Yeah, what a lovely fella. We had a chat, and he's making videos himself. And and hopefully you'll start a YouTube channel as well, Steve.
We'll follow you.
And we'll follow you.
We'll watch you every
drop
week.
us a comment. We've never seen your comment, Steve.
Yeah.
You recognise me in Tesco.
Yeah.
And it was just really lovely
It was great,
to meet
wasn't it?
a subscriber. So
lovely.
cheers to you.
And if you do see us in Tesco or out and about, come and say hello. We don't bite.
No, we don't bite. And I
Not
don't
hard,
bite.
anyway.
No. You were in work. You missed this
I was,
interaction. Yeah.
Anyway, we should round it up
should.
because this video's been long enough.
Hasn't it just? We did enough, didn't we?
We did.
So if you'd like this video, that would be wonderful.
And if you'd hit the button, the like, the subscribe, the
Subscribe
comments.
is free to do.
It absolutely is.
Costs nothing.
The Patreon, as we've already mentioned,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. It would be wonderful if you'd join
Come
our
and
gang.
join our gang.
Absolutely.
And as we say, in Postcard and a Pint,
Cheers to the good times. We've just come back from a lovely holiday near Corfe Castle.
In Dorset.
Yeah, it was great.
Wah, wah, wah.